my name is Jooles and this is my video journal about the crafty side of my life, mostly. My channel is So Sweet Violet. What do you need to know? I have forgotten everything. Okay, so let's start with the date. So this is journal number 56. I had to look that up because it's been a really long time since I've done this. In fact, it was November since I last did a journal. I did do Vlogmas or summer Vlogmas, and it all was a bit too much for me. So we'll forget that. We're just going to skim over the last goodness knows how many months. I'm starting afresh today. This is like a fresh new start. So I have changed things up, or I'm going to be changing things up just a tiny bit. So as this is a fresh start, I thought I'd better reintroduce myself. My name is Jooles, as I said before. I live in West Sussex, on the south coast of England, with my husband Pete and our son George, who is, I have two children, Bryony and George. Bryony has been moved out, oh gosh, 4 or 5 years now. I've missed her so much during lockdown. It's been really horrible. And our son George still lives with us, but only just. He is going to be moving out probably within the next couple of months with his girlfriend to his first home, which I'm overjoyed and really sad about, all at the same time. We also have our gorgeous whippet girl Mabel, who most times is called Boo. She's just a dream. I love her so much. So you can find me as So Sweet Violet on Instagram, where I'm most active. I also have a Ravelry account where I keep track of all my projects, and also over there is a Ravelry group. There's a very, very exciting year-long knit-along going on over there at the moment, which I'll chat a bit about later. I also have a shop, which is www.sosweetviolet.co.uk, and that's where I sell lots of things that I make. You'll find lots of stitch markers. I make project bags, decorations, all sorts of lovely things. If I dream something lovely up, I'll want to make it and then I'll pop it in my shop. What else do you need to know? All the show notes for this podcast will be in the description bar under this video on YouTube. So you can find out more about the projects I'm making, what I'm talking about, the yarn I'm using, or links people I talk about. There'll be links there. So I think that's everything I need to say at the beginning of a podcast. I think so. Right. Coffee after that, just so you don't forget who I am, and so I don't forget who I am. I hope you've all been well and have coped better than you thought you would during this weird year. I hope you've been well and safe, and I hope you've managed to stay somewhat sane. It's been a bit up and down here, I must say, but we're doing okay actually. We are still in lockdown in the UK, but there are some dates we're looking forward to when restrictions will be lifted slightly and slowly, but that's good. I'm really pleased about that. My mum's had her vaccine, so yeah, I feel like we're getting there, and that's such a nice feeling. And it's spring. Well, it's kind of spring, nearly spring. So I am going to get on with some knitting in the making. Okay, first of all, before I go on, I'm just going to say that I'm going to try and make my journals a bit shorter, so it's less of a giant task for me. So I'm not going to show everything I'm working on, just a couple of things. So that's one change to my podcast. So first of all, I've been working on my northeasterly and it's getting quite big. It's quite hard to, right, okay. So I'm making a rainbow northeasterly. I'm on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on my 6th strip, and it is quite long. Let's see if I can show you. Let's be sensible. Okay, so let's start at the pink section. Oh, it is so pretty. Seeing it on the screen makes me so excited. Going into peaches and yellows, and then greens and turquoises, blues, and my favourite bit, purples. Pinky purples are my favourite. So I've done so I'm on my 5th, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my 6th strip. Can't count. So let me explain how I'm making mine. By the way, this is a pattern by Ellie of Skeynanigans. I think it was probably in my last journal or the one before that when I spoke about this a bit more in detail. So by trial and error, quite a lot of error and quite a lot of trial, I decided how long I wanted my first strip to be. Whether that's the width or the length, doesn't really matter. I just decided I wanted it so big. And as I said, by trial and error, I worked out that I needed 80 grams for a strip. I wanted to use lots and lots of my beautiful bits because they're really precious, and this is going to be a really precious blanket. So I made a magic knot ball. So I divided 80 grams by 6. So Richard of York gave battle indigo vein. So I got rid of indigo, so I need to divide it by 6. So I can't remember how much that actually is now. I think it's something like 13 point something. I could be wrong. It's a long time since I made this magic knot ball. So then I found out all my pinks and I weighed them, made sure I had about 13, I think it was 13 grams. And then I did the same with peaches, yellows, greens, and so on. And then I made a magic knot ball with those amounts of yarn. Keep weighing it as you go. And then I just have this lovely ball of yarn, which is magic because I forget what colours I put in, what yarns I put in. Well, not colours, obviously, but the yarns. And it's so exciting when you're knitting it and these colours just appear and you're like, oh, I remember that one. I made socks with that one, or yeah, I used that in such and such. It's just fun. You haven't got to worry about weaving in ends. Really, really enjoyable. Do I need to say anything else about this? Maybe I should tell you I'm just using double points actually. Let's make my coffee. Using double points. Of course I've got a rainbow stitch marker there. The little rainbow stitch marker there. They're in my shop if you're interested. And I'm using DPNs and I just pop a needle, what are these called? Needle protector or stopper or something on the end, just so that I keep them together and they're nice and safe. It's a really lovely pattern. I can see how, it look like arrows. It's just lovely, and the join that she tells you to do is so neat, and on the back it's really neat as well, which I love. So I'm really loving this still. I've been working on it quite a while now, but it's one of those things, a bit like my happy patchwork blanket, which is a mitered square blanket, that I pull out and I work on it for a few weeks and love it, and then I put it away, get another one out. It's just like that. I've also got a granny stripe blanket, but I'm going to show you that next time. Okay, and that's rainbow as well. So let's put the northeasterly away in its basket. So my next work in progress is a pair of socks. Actually, it's one sock at the moment. So this pair of socks is for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles, which is a knit along that both Kelly Les Family Yarns and I are hosting for the whole year. I think a lot of you have probably heard of it because it's very, very busy over in the chatter group in my Ravelry thread, and you're more than welcome to join. You don't have to do the whole year, you can just pop in for 1 month. Yeah, and you don't even have to finish a pair of socks. You can still chat in the chatter thread about the sock you're knitting. It's so lovely over there, and I have 2 amazing ladies, Christy and Steph, who are moderators for me, and honestly I do not know what would have happened without them, because I just didn't expect it to be this crazy busy. I'm so happy that it is, and oh, thank you Steph and thank you Christy. They're my rainbow yarn angels, they honestly are. So anyway, this is my March sock. March is peach or orange. January was pink, February was dark pink or red, and March is peach or orange. So I just started the toe last night. Little bunny. Just put her on there to mark the front. I've literally did the first row of the pattern, and I am using my Sweet Vanilla toe up sock pattern. I'll put the link to that in the show notes. But I'm also using Kay of Bakery Bears, her crunkled sock pattern. I'm using my own recipe, my Sweet Vanilla toe up, and I'm using Kay's stitch pattern to put into my sock because it looks so cozy. So I am going to be knitting these 2 at a time, and what I do when I knit my socks 2 at a time is I do the toes separately. So I've done 1 toe, I will scooch that up here, I'll then get another pair of needles and I'll do the next toe, and then I'll pop the next toe onto here, so the toes are done. It just makes it a lot easier. If you're interested in the dear little bunny, I've got stitch markers and progress keepers in my shop in blue and in pink. They are so adorable. So adorable. So the yarn I'm using is by Herbstblatt Regina. And I'm really sad that she doesn't dye anymore. I just don't know where she's gone. She was so lovely. So this is her Just Peachy colourway. And I don't know if it's just German yarn, because there was another, oh, Vicky of Barenfuller. She had the same base and it's so gorgeous. What does it say? 80% extra fine merino and 20% polyamide, which must be nylon. And it's so plump. I don't know if you can really see, but it's such a plump yarn and I just love it so much. If anybody knows, not that I'm buying yarn this year, which I'll talk about a bit later as well. If anybody knows, I guess any German yarn dyers, could they point me in the right direction, please? Because, oh, that's dangerous. I'm not buying yarn this year. Scratch that. So these are my March socks for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles. What do I need to say? I'm knitting them on 2.25 Magic Loop Chiaogu. They are my favourite by a million times far. I just love Chiaogu needles. So that is they. I think I've already put them on Ravelry, so I'll link to that, and you can see the yarn and everything. And that is everything for In the Making. It's not really, not in real life, but it is for this journal. Okay, finished things. I'm just gonna have some coffee. So you may or may not have noticed that I'm wearing a hand knit jumper, and this was finished just 2 or 3 days ago, and it's my magnolia jumper. I think it's actually called magnolia sweater. I don't know if you can, tricky to see. That's the pretty lace around the hem. It's also around the sleeves. Oh, it's so pretty and it's so soft. I made it too big again. Look. Why do I do this? I have obviously the wrong image of myself in my head because I always think I'm bigger than I am. I mean, I'm not skinny mini, but you know, it's a bit big. I mean, I'm happy with the body. I like kind of loose jumpers, but it's this bit here. I should have split for the sleeves quite a lot earlier. But I'm just calling it a mini bat wing because I still love it. It's so pretty. So I'm going to tell you about the yarn. So for this jumper, I used 2 strands held together. Oh, this is the magnolia jumper. I think I did say that. And I used 2 strands of yarn held together. One was a sock yarn and it was called Bramble by the Wool Barn. And then I held a strand of Surrey alpaca silk by Jane at Hedgerow Yarns together to make this. I went up a needle, half a needle size, which I seem to always do to get gauge, and I did helical knitting apart from the lace. When I got to the lace, I just didn't do helical knitting. I don't actually know if you can, but it's fine because the lace breaks the yarn up anyway because you've got eyelets and nubs and, you know, so it just doesn't really show, I find. But I did helical knitting for all of the plain stockinette, and I used lovely Grace from Babble's Travelling Yarns. She put out a tutorial, I think it's called the Jogless Join, but I'll put a link to that down below. It's so easy and she explains it so beautifully, and I really enjoy doing helical knitting. It's something to look forward to when you're doing long rounds of stockinette. That was weird. My camera just turned off. I'm having issues with my memory card and my battery, so I'm going to have to invest in some new bits, which is annoying, but never mind. We'll try and carry on and hopefully I don't get cut off again. Don't even know what I was saying. I think I finished talking about this. And then I was saying during lockdown, I think it's given a lot of us time to think and see how maybe we want to change our lives and improve things. And I decided I have so much lovely stuff and I just want to use it and enjoy it. And I don't need to buy the new yarn that's just flashed up on Instagram. I have beautiful yarn, as you can see up there. And I have a few sweaters quantities as well. So this was from Stash, so I'm really chuffed, and I've had it about a year. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. So my other finished thing is a sock, actually a pair of socks. And this, or these rather, were my January Rainbow Sonicles Crocs socks. And these were knit from Baronvuller. Can't remember the name now. That's annoying. It's on my Ravelry page, so I'll link that below. And this is a sock pattern that I made up. It's really pretty. I'm really pleased with it. And it might look like a cable, but it isn't. It's just twisted stitches. And there's a cable on the other side. I've decided to write this up as a pattern, actually. And I'm going to call them my flossy socks because Bryony's granddad, that's my husband's dad, he's not with us any longer. He used to call Bryony Flossie. And it was just, I was just thinking about him a lot when I was knitting these. So I'm going to call them the flossy socks. So that will be a pattern coming soon. Well, I say coming soon, I haven't started writing it yet, but that is the plan. The yarn was Baronvuller. I think even that might have been Baron Fuller, or that might have been House of That Regina. I cannot remember. All notes, as I said, are on my Ravelry project page. Did I knit these two at a time? I think I might have done, actually. My memory is rubbish. Okay, so now another pair of socks that are finished, and these are my February socks for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles. And these I used my Sweet Vanilla Toe Up pattern, and I also used the Broken Seed Stitch pattern, which is really, really pretty. But by the end of sock number 1, I was thinking to myself, I cannot do any more knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one. But I did. They were hard. They were a slog, actually, but they look beautiful, and I'm really, really glad I persevered. I used, this is Lay Family Yarns. This is also a really lovely base in vintage china, and the dark pink, I'm not quite sure what or where that was from, but it's a really pretty kind of dusty pink colour. And I did a contrast heel using the vintage china, because it's really easy just to put that in, and you've got no ends because you're doing stripes. No ends to weave in, that is. So we have so far January, February, and then we got the peachy ones, which are March. I can't wait to have a whole box of rainbow socks by the end of the year. It's going to be amazing. I'm not going to wear these. I'm going to put them in my box, and at the end of the year I'm going to open them. It's going to be a Christmas present to myself. That's what it's going to be. So that's really exciting. Do I need to say anything else? I will put a link down below in the show notes also to a video that I made about the Rainbow Sock Chronicles, and a link to my chatter thread in Ravelry, and a link to Kelly's Finished Things thread. I have the chatter thread, Kelly has the Finished Things thread. So if you're interested, all the info is in that video or in the top of one of those threads on Ravelry. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I'm keeping track of the yarn I use this year, because as I said earlier, I'm really trying hard to use my stash and love my stash, and I do love my stash. Here comes a little boo. Hello, my darling. You want to come and say hello to everyone? Here is my little boo. Oh, isn't she beautiful? Aren't you beautiful, little boo? You are. Oh, she's so cute. She is 5.5 now, aren't you? You're 5.5? She's such a little sweetheart. Let me get them pups. Did you want to see where I was? Where did I get to? Oh yeah. So I got myself a little book. Well, I've had this book for ages. I don't know where it came from, but it's very cute. And each month I'm writing down how much yarn I use. So for January, what did I do? I made 1 pair of socks. That was 75 grams. I put 5, 6, 7, 9 squares in my Happy Patchwork blanket. They're 5 grams each, so that was 45 grams. I made 1 mini sock, which I haven't spoken about. I'll do that in a second. I made 2 squares. I might be attempting a Battenberg blanket by lovely Sandra of Cherry Heart, not sure yet. And I sent 10 grams of yarn to my lovely friend Becky, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. So I used 139 grams in January. Not that impressive, but hello, my darling. February was much better because I finished my jumper in February. So my socks, my Feb socks were 77 grams. I did 2 squares in my Happy Patchwork blanket, 480 grams of yarn out of stash. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Battenberg squares. Maybe I'll talk about that in my next podcast. And I sent 2 10-gram little minis to Bex. So that was 612 for February. So that beats, what was it, 139, hands down. I'm pretty sure you all know lovely Bex from Bex Creates podcast, and sister to lovely Claire, who is Bird Street Yarn. I think that's right. Well, poor Becky's been having a rough old time of it, and we've just been chatting quite a lot, which has been lovely. She is such a sweetheart. And we decided, well, this was her idea actually. We were chatting and she said, I'm going to make, every time I make a pair of socks, I'm going to make a mini sock. And at the end of the year, I'll have 12 mini socks. And I was like, that is such a good idea. And then a few minutes later, ping, I was like, oh, why don't we swap our yarn as well? And we could make 2 mini socks a month. And that will give us an advent calendar of socks at the end of the year, like a rainbow advent calendar of mini socks. So that's what we did. It was really fun. Now where, oh, I seem to have lost, hang on. No, this is right. So I started off with my mini sock. I started off using a free pattern from Lovely Kay of the Bakery Bears, but I've since adapted it to my own Go-Day heel because I really like that, and I don't really like picking up stitches for a heel flap on gusset on a teeny tiny little sock. And then you got this one. This was Becky's January sock. This is Becky's February sock, and I haven't done my February sock yet. Oh, but just look. I mean, adorable or what? I think I'm going to make a tiny, oh sweetheart, are you waiting for me, Bubba? I think I'm going to knit a tiny I-cord so they've each got a little hanger. But can you, oops, drop one. Can you imagine how adorable they are going to be? All strung up with chocolate in. So exciting. So Bex and I are really very, very excited. And I've also got Beck's next colour because she's super organised. This is her March colour. Leave that poo-poo. She wants my coffee cup. This is Becky's March colour, which is Somerset Yarns in Summer Nights. And this is also Somerset Yarns. Oh. See, this is the problem. I don't want to buy yarn, but then I see like Somerset Yarns is so gorgeous. Anyway, I've got to behave myself. So that is our plan. So if you have a friend, and well, of course you have a friend. If you have a friend who's doing the Rainbow Sock Chronicles, maybe you could do the same and we could all end up with rainbow advent calendar socks. So that's that. This podcast is not going to be half an hour, is it? And I have a vlog at the end. Basically, the whole of the year vlogged, just little bits. Right, let's finish my coffee. It's now pretty much like iced coffee. Let's talk about dream making. It used to be called dream knitting, but I feel I'm being drawn into crochet, into embroidery, into cross stitch, into quilting, into sewing. I just want to make everything right now. And I have decided I want to make a Laura Ashley postage stamp quilt, almost like a sampler of all the fabrics I remember in the 80s, so all the vintage fabrics. And I have a few in my stash already, and I've been collecting some from eBay. And I put a post on Instagram, and I've had such lovely gifts of some Laura Ashley vintage fabrics sent to me by just the most lovely ladies. So thank you so much to all of you who have sent me some Laura Ashley fabric. It honestly, it means the world to me. This is such a special era in my life. And just going into those Laura Ashley shops in the 80s was like a dream, and I dream about it now. And I just loved all the prints back then. There was just something magical about them. And so I have been collecting some fabrics, as I say, from eBay, and I've been really lucky and received some from friends on Instagram. But I just want to show you a few, and I'm going to do this quite quickly. But look at them, aren't they just the prettiest things? And I'm just going to do postage stamp squares, but they're not going to be postage stamp small. I think I'm going to do 2.5 inch squares and 2.5 inch white squares. My arm's aching now. There, I think you've got the idea. I think I can't show them all because my arm will fall off. But this is what I've got so far. I don't think I'm going to be ready to make the quilt until probably summertime, because I need a lot more fabrics if I'm going to make a whole quilt. I'm so excited about it. I also want to make the Whitmore cardigan, which is a pattern by Amy Loudon, my lovely Amy. I just love knitting her Whitmore sweater, so the cardigan, and I love it because the button bands knit in. You don't have to put it on separately. Oh, such a bonus for me. And I have yarn in stash for that, but I'll talk about that more when I start it. I also want to make the Felix sweater because I think that's a really nice jumper to go over dresses, kind of when you're going out, when you're living your life like we haven't been. So I want to make that too. Yeah. I also want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have been reaching out to me lately and saying, Jooles, I miss you. When are you podcasting? Are you okay? It was very, very heartwarming to receive those messages. So thank you so much. I just haven't felt ready to do it until now. And yeah, I didn't want to come on here and be grumpy because, to be honest, there has been a lot to be grumpy about, let's face it. But spring is coming and that's exciting. I've also had a few inquiries about, did I find my childhood friend Lucy? Yes, we're in touch. Oh, it's like heaven. We email. Oh, it's just, I can't believe it. It took such a long time to find her. And in the end, it was my brother. I don't know, I think he went on Facebook, knew somebody who knew somebody. And oh, I can't tell you how much, I don't know how to word it without it sounding too ridiculous, but it's so nice to be in touch with her and remember parts of my life that I've forgotten. And oh, she's just, I have no words, it's ridiculous. But anyway, we are in touch and it's amazing. The funny thing is, she is a crafter and she knits socks. Can you even believe that? Lucy, I think you're probably watching, so hello. We are hoping to meet one day soon. Well, you know, after all this drama. Oh, it's just amazing. Just amazing. And I can't believe she's a craft. Well, I can actually, because we were both kind of crafty girls. But yeah, for her to knit socks is just like, wow. I know in our little community of knitters on Instagram and YouTube, it's quite a normal thing. But if you take the whole of the population, probably a very, very small percentage of people knit socks or knit. So how amazing is that? So, oh, it's so lovely Yeah, amazing. I also wanted to pop in a new little section called My Favourite Things, because I think it's really good to share all the things that are making us really happy at the moment. And I have two this week. The first one is my washing machine timer. I've had my washing machine, well, this particular one, for 6 years maybe. I don't think I've ever used the timer, or maybe in the very beginning. But now, before I go to bed, I sort out the laundry. Actually, I do it after tea. Sort out the laundry, put it in the washing machine with the washing powder, the softener, put the timer on. I wake up in the morning and I lay there thinking, I haven't even got out of bed and I've already done the laundry. It's amazing. If you have that function on your washing machine, try it. You feel so accomplished. My other favourite thing are dates. Not any old dates. No, no, no. These are Rachel of So Ray Me's dates. My lovely friend Rachel, she got me into these. So if you can hear any noise, George has just got up for his breakfast. He's quite noisy. So you take a date, you slice it, you take the pip out. You just slice it on one side so it's like you can open it up. Take the pip out, stuff it with peanut butter or almond butter or whatever butter you like, not butter. And then you switch it together again and dip it in melted dark chocolate. It is so delicious. They are like mini healthy Snickers bars. I've had to limit myself to 2 a day because they're addictive and delicious. So there we go, 2 of my favourite things for you. Another new section I'm adding to my journal is shop share, which actually now said it sounds rubbish and I think I need to find a new title. But it's where I want to show you just 1 or 2 things from my shop. My shop is loaded. It's groaning with loveliness at the moment. There's lots of bunny things in there. I seem to be adding things every week. I've just got some new candles from the lovely vegan bunny company to add, which I haven't done yet. Hopefully by the end of the week. And I'm going to have a little giveaway on Instagram for those. There's lots and lots of lovely things coming up. I have been making rainbow bags like they're going out of fashion. Yes, so I thought I'd share just 2 things today. And I also want to thank every single person who has placed an order from my shop. Honestly, you know that meme that goes around? It's something like, every time you buy from a small business, this is what happens, and there's this lady dancing like a crazy person. Honestly, it's like that. It's just been amazing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and my small business and my family. So I'm going to show you just a couple of things that are in my shop at the moment. There's like a highlight. Shop highlights? I don't know. This is a little set of adorable little sock progress keepers. I had these custom made, so they're all laser cut, and little pinky one here, it's got stripes on. It's quite hard to show. This one has got, whoops, little heart. This is, what's this one? Stripes on that one. Dots, a vanilla sock, and another dotty sock. Oh, I just love the colours, they're so pretty. They've gone out of order. What's happened here? There we go. So these are in my shop as a set of 6. And they're really, I made them for the Rainbow Sock Chronicles because I thought they'd be perfect. But they're just gorgeous in their own right. I mean, look at that one. I love that colour. So I have these in my shop. And I also have some bunny Easter decorations, which are adorable. And they come in this cute foil keepsake box. There's nothing in this one because I have run out. They've been hopping out of my shop so fast that I need to make some more. So if you're waiting, I think the last the last 2 days, if you bought them from if you bought any in the last 2 days, possibly 3 days, I will be making them and sending them out in the next couple of days. So these are the little bunny decorations. They're so cute. So they're kind of like a little hoop, bunny hoop, and they've got Liberty fabric in the centre. This is the yellow one, a little, I get so distracted by the road. It's got a lovely velvet ribbon and a pink one. So cute. And in the set, there's also a blue and a green one, but as I said, I am fully out at the moment, so that is probably a job for this afternoon. Yeah. So that's my shop. What shall I call it? Maybe you could help me. Well, I think that's me done. I think I've recorded my first journal of 2021. Happy 2021, by the way. There's a vlog after this, and basically all the footage is probably all of this year. I think it's about 15 minutes. It's all cramped into like a little bit. So in the future, my journal section will probably be about half an hour. It was longer today because I was out of practice and I had a lot to say. And then there'll be a vlog at the end. And I'm really hoping to be more, what's the word? Reliable. More reliable. And I don't know what the word is. I don't know. Words get lost in my head. Anyway, I hope to be back regular. I hope to be more regular with my journals. That's what I hope. So I hope you enjoy the vlog. Have a lovely time until I see you next, which I hope will be soon. And thank you. If you even remember who I am, thank you so much for watching. Bye.